younger self, knowing what you know now, and also what are some areas you have to grow in?
I would tell you to do not rush, to enjoy life, to really, really take on living in itself. Don't try to grow up too fast. Really think about what you're doing before you do it, because I know you live on the whim, and you're like, once you get something in your head, you're like, you're gonna go. I want you to really think about it though. Really, really think about it. Really think about the consequences that come with it. Or even if you feel like they're not even that deep, because lessons come with just the littlest things that you do. So I just really just want you to think and have fun with life. Don't stop saying no to stuff that you feel like is going to hurt other people's feelings just because, they're, not secure with their own selves. I want you to enjoy yourself.
Don't be afraid to be you. Always be true to yourself, no matter what. Keep God first. I would tell myself that it's okay to open up and talk to people. It's okay to be transparent. You don't want to carry around things your whole life. Don't hold grudges. Let it go. Mend broken relationships when you can, while you can. Put yourself first. It's okay to be selfish with you also.
Yeah,
it's okay to have, all my friends know I will go off in the distance and be by myself for days. It's okay to be by yourself. Put yourself first, be selfish with you. Take care of you. And some things that I need to work on. I know my attitude definitely is one. I have to be more receptive of others and the way that they think and how they feel. Because I can be selfish and think that my feelings are the only ones that matter.
There's a few things I might need to grow into. One would personally be sticking to something. Like, I'm real big. Okay, so I wouldn't say I'm a quitter, but once I get into something, I'll stick to it, but I won't go as hard as I feel like I could. And I feel like if I did go as hard as I would in other things, I would achieve a lot more goals that I set for myself. So my thing would be is going a lot harder in things, and also listening to myself. I think I said that earlier, so I'm going to change that. I noticed that I might be a little toxic, so I won't say it's the way I think, it's just the way I kind of talk to people. I was telling y'all about that a little bit during our breaks. I feel like I can definitely work on the way I talk to people, because the way that I mean is not the way that I am perceived. So I definitely need to work on that a lot, because it comes off very, very, very toxic.
When you're dealing with other people, you have to learn. It's not always what you say, but how you say it.
Yeah.
So, delivery, definitely working on that. And how I come across, because sometimes I may say something, but that's not how I mean for it to come off. And then also my perception.
I'm just kind of a tie into what we've all been saying. Definitely enjoy life. Like, take it on, but go with the flow with it. I would say definitely think about your actions and all of its effects, but don't be so uptight. Don't be so adult-like. You don't have to grow up just yet. You don't have to have everything figured out just yet. Some things you learn as you go.
I would say mine's more spiritual wise. I tell myself is, remember you're a child of God. When you were a kid, as a child, you're not really supposed to worry about much, right? Because your parents got you. Look at God as your parent. When it's starting to get too much, or life is getting too hard, or you might just need an outlet just to talk, give it to God. If you was to, let's say, as a kid and you randomly got a splinter, who you going to? Your parent. Gonna help you get it out. You're gonna feel better, and it's like nothing ever happened. You probably forgot that you even went through it. My dad used to say, you'll be alright before you get married, and then it's stuff that like I forgot that I went through, and I was like, dang, I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying? Because I just gave it to him and he helped me. So look at that aspect with your life and giving to God. You are a child of God for a reason. Know that. You're not a superhuman. Because that's what I had to realize too. I ain't superhuman. I would try to my damnness to conquer the whole world if I can. And then I've been shut down every time, been in hospital sick, because I would try to overdo it.
Some areas I have to grow in would have to be having more confidence into myself. So that ties back with the, I can believe it, it's in me. Now let me be confident enough to trust myself. So having confidence, trusting myself are some things that I had to grow in. I've always been kind of an observer, stood back, put myself kind of on the back burner on a lot of tasks. So confidence is something I'm growing more into.
What I have to work on is I have to work on like my discipline and consistency, you know, because if I want to achieve certain things in life, I gotta have that repetition to keep going. I can't just be like, oh damn, I ain't succeed, and give up on myself or feel like that it's not working. It may be working, it's just gotta take time. So having that discipline, having that consistency is what I'm still constantly working on, what I'm battling with. And then just what I would tell my younger self is you can't conquer the world. You have people there for you and all around you. That's what God placed people there for your life for. And then remember, you're a child of God, so just give it all to Him.
I would say protect yourself. As in, ooh, hello. I'm starting boring. We not doing it. Who's not crying?
I'm trying not to. Ooh, I just gotta laugh it off.
I would also say take all the opportunities that come to you, even the little ones. Because in college, I felt like I never did internships or nothing like that. Because I was just like, hey, I wasn't getting paid for that shit. I'm not doing it.
Sure.
But literally, little opportunities can turn to big ones. Okay, here we go. To protect yourself, in the sense that, like, there are people who are givers and there are people who are takers, but some people they give and they don't even realize, like, for me, I don't necessarily have a limit as far as like my energy and my like happiness. So like, it's like if I meet somebody, I'm just willing, I don't care who you are, I'll talk, and then I realize like later on that I've given like so much and I end up drained and I'm like, dang, and so I end up like drained or I wouldn't say I have depression, but I would end up like in a rut for months. And they like all happy and stuff because I didn't gave everything, but it's just like, dang, you done took something, you know what I'm saying? So I would just say like protect myself into, not saying that you can't give life, but you don't have to go so deep and invest yourself into everybody just because they say hey to you. I would say that. And then my other thing is to stop sleeping on myself. To stop sleeping on yourself. I think if, you know, they say, oh, they sleeping on me. If anybody has slept on me, it's been myself. With so many things that like ideas with what I think I could do, it'll be an idea and I'll just push it in the back of my mind. But I realize that I've been scared of me for so long. I haven't done stuff because of me, because I've been scared of me. Yeah.
Have an umbrella of money saved up. Always keep a stash. Alright.
You'll never regret saving.
Ever.
You regret spending something, because I have.
Make sure that's your first thing. You know, get you a savings account. You know, have you a little piggy bank, do something, but make sure you stacking some bread. Have some bread somewhere. That's what I would tell my younger self. And don't be so hard on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Dang. Give yourself some room to mess up. You know what I'm saying? Goodness. You ain't gonna be perfect, Patty, your whole life. So, it's okay to mess up as long as you learn.
What are some areas you have to grow?
Probably patience, discipline, like Meg was talking about. I really wanna, you know how when they say, you know, you gotta give it to God and don't worry about it. You know, I really, it's like I be trying to give it to God, but then I be like having my hands on it too. You know what I'm saying? When I gotta like just really like give it fully to Him, I'm trying to work on that and not being too hard on myself. So. Yeah, those are some things I gotta work on. Yeah.
I would say learning how to take feedback. And that's holistic. Learning how to take feedback as in not to take it too harshly when people do say it in certain things, depending on who the person is or depending on how sensitive the topic at hand is to me. I'll take it really, really hard. And I may be stuck on it for a while and it'll literally affect my whole mood. I can't fake the funk. Like, it's literally, if I'm not feeling it, I'll be down for a minute. And then also if I do take something to actually take it and to not brush it off, to take feedback and to not get in my emotions like, why did you have to say it like that? Or do you know, like, you didn't have to say it like that, or you didn't even, that's not what I meant. I just take it I take it as an offense I take it as a shot to my person rather than to the situation or for it to be a part of growth. So just learning how to take feedback holistically.
How do you feel about colorism?
Let me just do a disclaimer. I'm gonna cuss hard. I fucking hate being called white girl. I hate that shit. To a passion, to the core. Do not call me that. Just because I'm light. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. I hate that with a passion. I feel like we all, at one point in time, come from the same background. It might not be the exact same, but like, we're all, it doesn't matter, the shade is not that deep. She's black, I'm black. Same thing. And we're beautiful in our own ways. What I learned in African American literature was the term mulatto. And what I learned from it was like, as a person that they deal with the realities of, they don't fit in the white crowd, and then they don't fit in the black crowd. So they torn in between the two, and they can't deal with it, and they don't know where to fit in or where they fit exactly into. And I feel like it's not that deep. I feel like it should be us just all with it. It's deep, but it shouldn't be to the point that it has to be like to the pigmentation of how black you are or how you talk. You talk white. What does that mean? Just because I don't talk with a slang like you, or just because I don't talk proper like you? It's all within that. That ties into that colorism. Oh, you light skinned, you don't text back. No, motherfucker, I just don't like texting. Call me. It don't have nothing to do with my light skin. Nothing at all. It doesn't have nothing to do with that. So that's the whole scheme of light skinned people is vain. I hate that. That's one thing. But then what I also gonna flip, I'm gonna get on the light skin side too. How they abuse that. Or some females don't speak up on the colorism they may see. If I see somebody treating Daria wrong, and I've been through that, you know what I'm saying? And you know how we rock, I don't like that. Oh, some girls think they automatically are prettier just because they're light skinned. I can't stand that. I grew up with a dark skinned grandmother, you know what I'm saying? And how I look at myself is like, I look at her, I feel like I'm looking in the mirror. And what she went through with the colorism, the racism. You know, this woman was 92 years old, in her 90s, having nightmares of white men just letting dogs off on her. You know what I'm saying? It's when it gets to that point that you 90 and you having nightmares about that still, it doesn't matter about colorism anymore, how dark she is or how dark that person or light that person is. We all went through some type of struggle together, and we gotta stick together. Just point blank, period. Enough with that. Enough with the bad skin, red bone. Enough with that shit. Everybody look beautiful in their own aspect. And light skin, stop fucking using that to your ability. That's ignorant. And you know it, and that's trifling. And that's just me, that's even speaking for myself. I don't like that. So that's my whole entire view on colorism. Just don't think of yourself higher. I'm not, what do you always say? I'm not above you, I'm not beneath you. I'm always beside you. And that's how it should always be for all of us as a unity, as a community.
Okay. I have been affected by colorism. I just recently came to terms of what it is and experienced it for all of it is and within the past year or two. So obviously looking at me, I am a bit fair toned. I do have curly hair. In the summer months I am a bit darker, but I still have distinctive features. And when you see my mother, when I'm walking in the store with her, she is white with light brown curly hair, less than I. When I'm walking with my father, he is mixed, but darker skin, so people assume he's just African American. With that being said, I do have brothers and sisters, family members. We all look different. But about 90% of the time, I am the only one who is asked, what are you? I get that question a lot, very frequently. Some people are kind. They try to be as respectful as they can, but just the question, what are you, is kind of offensive in a way. And then it goes into deeper when I tell them, and then they're just like, oh, well, you're so pretty. Oh, well, you're beautiful then. But then they treat my brother, who is Filipino, Asian, and African American, and they give him dirty looks for the way he is. So it's hard, it is difficult. I have experienced, I feel like I have a privilege over some of my siblings, and I feel like I'm less than some. So colorism is a thing, it is real, and it was hard growing up when you're treated better or worse than someone you're related to in blood. So
I feel like it's unfair. I feel like you're prejudging me, you know what I'm saying, before you even getting to know me. I'm not like this just because I'm this skin tone, you know what I'm saying? Like, my grandmas are mad complexion. That's just like me, you know what I'm saying? Feels that way because my grandma, like, no.
It's
I'm
like
not
the
gonna do that,
opposite.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I have, my family is my shade. Their shade, you got Meg shade. Like, I love it all, you know what I'm saying? And it just sucks that, you know, we even have to deal with such a thing. Because we all come from the same, you know what I'm saying?
Personally, for me, I didn't realize colorism until later on in life as well. To like, I think like high school. I've always experienced it, but I didn't realize what it was, if that made sense. I'm a military brat, so I kind of grew up around white people until I got older. So it would be like a whole classroom full of white kids, and I'm the only black kid in there, or it would be like me and another black kid. You know what I'm saying? But it's not many of us. I think the school itself, I think it probably was like 10 black kids all together, and we all knew each other. We ranged from different grades and everything, but we were all cool because it's like we all were black. But I always felt, I don't even feel like I'm like super the darkest person in the world, but you know, growing up, I always be like, you know, I'm dark skinned, I'm chocolate, I'm dark skinned. Like, until now I got older and I'm around a whole bunch of black people, they'd be like, you're brown, you know, you're not the darkest person in the world. And it's like, you couldn't tell me nothing because, you know, growing up, I was looked at as the, you know, the black girl or the loud black girl, because there wasn't no other black girls, you know, for them to, you know, base that off of. And also, I have danced before, so I have personally experienced, you know, the other side of it, to where you actually get to see men, you know, interact with, you know, the dark-skinned girl and the light-skinned girl, and how the light-skinned girl and the dark-skinned girl is treated. And there are definitely some differences in that, unfortunately. I don't know why it seemed like the dark-skinned girl is less than the light-skinned girl. I feel like I have never experienced it amongst my friends, but I have actually seen it. So I do believe colorism is real, but I just feel like it's just with a select few people. And really it comes to like I feel like I only experience it when it comes to dating. Like, I would say when I was younger, I was a colorist, if you would say that. Like, I used to be like, I only dated light-skinned boys when I was younger, to be completely honest with you. I've never dated a dark-skinned boy when I was younger. I don't even really know why. And it's not because I didn't like dark-skinned guys. I never had a dark-skinned guy even come up to me when I was younger. It was always the real bright guys, Hispanics and stuff like that. Like, super, super bright. Like, never took a dark-skinned guy home. And I honestly don't. Home. And I was always white or Hispanic. They was never black. And honestly, black, they have always been Hispanic or white. And it's like, black guys, I have friends that are dark skinned. I've never seen them with dark skinned girls, to be completely honest with you. So it's like, I just think it's a thing between us, and I don't know why. I really don't get it, but I always wanted chocolate kids. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but for real.
The biggest thing that always bothered me, growing up and even till now, is you're pretty for a dark skinned girl.
God, that's smart.
I've even heard that, oh, you're the first dark skinned girl I dated.
Like, what do you want me to do with that?
But yeah, oh, you pretty. Why for a dark skinned girl? So if I was light skinned, I wouldn't be pretty. Like just because she light skinned, she prettier than me. It's some light skinned ducks.
Go.
Like, let's be real.
You know who you are.
It's some light skinned ducks. But yeah, like that's always been the thing. Like, oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl. Dark skinned people have always just been like, that's even back in history.
Right.
The dark skin,
The paper bag.
we out in the fields. The light skins in the house.
And then and the thing is, we all went through some type of struggle. Cause y'all out in the field and we gotta get raped. It's both of them. It's terrible. It's like, I mean, it's no comparison with it. I mean, even though it's still rough, we still got like oppressed in some type of manner. So just look at it like that. Don't be like, you had it rougher than me.
Well, shit, I ain't had shit rough because I ain't lived back then.
But that's another thing. We ain't lived back then, so why are we trying to be
Bring the past into the present.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It's always been that.
We all went through it together. So
Let's
why?
normalize leaving the past in the past and moving forward. You know what I'm saying? How are we gonna grow?
Now, to an extent now, because some of that stuff you gotta watch. Now, what we gotta press with, you gotta pay attention to that history too.
Yes.
Because history repeats itself. Pay attention to
Now,
that.
that's true
But
too.
at the same time, when it comes to us, like, it doesn't matter who struggled the worst. At any time, we all struggle at one point in time. That's what I'm saying. And I also want to chime in on is with that colorism, is that good hair, bad hair. Everybody here has good hair. Just take care of the shit. It doesn't matter what type of style or what type of grade, just because somebody's hair might be curlier, somebody's hair might be coarser. If you take care of it, it's still gonna look good. So it's no, I don't understand that part either. Or I hear this a lot too. And this is a turn off for me for real. Niggas think it's cute, but I don't like that shit. When niggas be like, oh, I want to date a light skinned girl so my kids can come out this color. What you mean? What's wrong with your kids coming out your complexion? They gonna look like you. Why do you know? And it might be a preference. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna judge it, but it's not appealing. Don't say that shit to me, cause I ain't gonna be turned on by that. I ain't gonna be like, okay. I'm gonna be like, ugh, yikes. You don't love yourself, bro? What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? I love your skin. I love chocolate. So you don't like your dark skin? I don't understand that. You don't like your hair? I don't understand that. Because it's all beautiful.
So I would say as far as colorism, I don't think I've ever experienced it personally, but I will say with my siblings and god sisters and just because I have a blended family, I've witnessed it with them. One of my sisters is mixed. She's light bright. And one of my other sisters, she's about Tyja's skin color, or not, maybe a little bit darker. And I've heard talk about them being treated differently because, however, I didn't necessarily see that, maybe because I've never experienced it myself, and maybe also because I think when I look at the situation, it's just because of personality differences rather than it being a colorism thing. But other than that, the only time I feel as if I've experienced something because of my skin color, which is kind of light, not too hard, was when I went to Haiti, and I went with a group of, everybody else I was with was Caucasian or either mixed. So I was the darkest person there. And when I went there, they were trying to speak to me in Creole. They were trying to speak to me. They're just like, and I'm like, no hablen, I don't understand, you know. And then when they found out I only spoke English, they were like, you're white. Like literally told me I was white. But it was funny, it was a laugh for us, but in their head, because I did not meet their culture standards, and even though I would look their color, and they even thought I was lighter, and because I was lighter, and I also didn't meet the requirements of speaking that language, it's like, yeah, you're definitely white. You're the darkest of them, but you're not dark enough.
Can I also say this? I realized that as we were all speaking, when I was younger, I never thought I was ugly, or nobody ever pursued me as being ugly or anything like that. I just always seen pretty fair-toned or light-skinned girls my age. And I remember when I was younger, my sister used to like call me dark skin all the time, like, oh, you're black, yada, 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 yada. I don't know why, you know, I feel like black culture, when we see somebody real black, we just call them black or something like that. Yeah. But my sister used to say that all the time to me, and I used to literally pray at night that my hair would get curlier and that I would be a little lighter. And I feel like as I got older, my skin tone has changed, and I don't feel like that has made me love myself more, but I feel like that kind of messed me up back then.
I'm glad you said that. That rejogged my memory. I remember like when I was in school, and it was like, it's probably 2 white guys that I would say that had pursued me. One of them I remember, his name is Chase. The other one I can't remember his name. Chase. But you remember Tyja.
I feel like I remember Chase.
He was on Fort Lee. Anyways, I remember when he did pursue me, he was like, you know, really interested. In my head, I was just like, I must be beautiful. In my head, he loves me. Like, and I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like, I was like trying to figure out, okay, how do I act? Like, you know, like, don't want to act too black because I don't want to run away.
Oh my gosh.
But that, and then another thing is, I will remember I remember wanting to be white. I remember wanting to be white when I was younger because of, I just felt like I had the personality, and I had like, you know, the personality and the energy that we would other people, but my color, my skin didn't match. And I was just like, maybe if I had different hair. And then I was like, well, if we go to the pool, they're gonna get right out. I can't get right out of the pool. I need to do hair.
That was always a struggle.
No, swear. Do you remember I bought those contacts in middle school?
They were having some colors.
Listen, they were hazel. They were hazel, and I had some other ones that were green. I swear, I really honestly wanted to be somebody else when I was young. I have no clue why. Like, I used to wear these contacts in my eyes, and I used to tell people I was mixed with something. And that's so sad. Honestly, that is really sad that I had to feel like I had to be mixed with something to be cute or something like that. That really makes me so sad talking about that right now. But that just really just jogged a memory in my head, because you couldn't tell me. And I used to wear my hair watery, like put water on my head because my hair is curly. I used to try to make it curlier so that people could ask me, like, you know, are you mixed with something? Are those your real eyes? Oh yeah, I'm this, you know? I don't know. That just jogged my memory.
I would get perms, get excited, and not work out, not be on the playground playing real hard, because I'm not about to sweat my perm out. Y'all about to see how good my hair is. Y'all about to see that it can flow in the wind and come back down.
So yeah, I believe colorism is super, super, super real, vibrant, and literally I feel like it's the black community itself, you know, bringing that on, unfortunately. Because I don't feel like I was trying to impress nobody else but us. Like, I wasn't into white guys. Like, that's ridiculous.
Who is someone you model your life after or serves as a mentor?
Okay, someone I would say is a role model for me, it has always been my father. Like I explained earlier, he kind of took me in and provided more than enough, and always has shown opportunity after opportunity. And he started that young as well. He had me when he was 20, so he really, and I didn't really think about that until like a few days ago, that wow, he did have me when he was young, but he still was able to provide ample enough. So he didn't really have kind of his own childhood either, and growing up in his 20s and all of that. And now he has that opportunity, and he has more of that free time because he has worked so hard. So he made some plans early on in life and has executed he raised me to be exactly like that. I have been independent since I was 18 years old. I have paid for my own place to live. I had worked and paid for my way through college and paid for all my bills, paid for my cars, and I still feel like I have more than enough. So I am very grateful in that, but he has taught me since I was 16 years old, able to work. You will get what you want. You will have, enough to sustain. But if you want more, you will have to work for more. So I feel like he has kind of laid out a good path for me to follow, and I see more of my traits now. I see more of my traits in what I see in him. So that has been my role model throughout life, and I'm very proud and grateful of it.
I actually have a couple mentors. I've always been, like I said, the youngest in my class. I graduated in 3 years, so everybody looked at me as the baby, and everybody wanted to guide me in the right direction. So I feel like having a mentor is very important. They can put you on game, before it even happened to you, so you know not to go down this road because this will happen to you. They get you hip. So I definitely believe in having a mentor. You definitely want to surround yourself with positive people. If you're interested in something, you want to surround yourself with somebody that is well developed in what you're trying to get into, put you on. So I definitely believe in mentor. You want to get people in your corner that got your back and want to give you the best advice.
I would say someone that has motivated me to go as hard and believe in myself would be like my mom, because she was the first to go to school. And I would say even my dad too. He's been the first, to do a lot of things in the family. But other than them giving me the drive as far as a mentorship, I wouldn't say anyone. I would say I use that as motivation to wanna do better like they did. I can definitely do it. I come from them, they've literally been people feeding me, giving me, but I wouldn't say I necessarily look up to, or there's no one mentoring me. I would say literally I have this idea of what I want for myself and what I want to do, and I'm kind of just coming out the gate swinging. And trying to find people, not trying to find people, but as I go, looking for people that seem to be doing what I want to do or where I want to go, and trying to pick up tips from them. And anybody that's literally just doing what they desire and just going for it, they are motivating me today.
My first mentor, honestly, was my brother. I feel like I learned my work ethic from him initially. We're 8 years apart, but just him staying on me, and then especially when my dad died early, he was, he stepped into that place, and I feel like I would have learned a lot of stuff. I would have learned a lot of stuff in my older years and now with my father, but I learned a lot of stuff that I feel like is definitely essential as a young woman from my brother. How to, conduct myself, how society is in our age group, reality. My dad and I are 40 years apart. His world is different than my world. But my brother and I, we're close to being peers. So just that, and then seeing him move through the motions of life and become successful as he is today, and having that ambition and not letting anybody take that from him. Because him being young as well, to get into the positions that he is in life, he's young, and a lot of people feel like that's not deserved at the age, but he worked for that, really grind for that. So that gave me a different outlook on just life and getting myself to where I need to be, and just that whole entire aspect. So yeah, he's definitely my mentor, and that's essential for me.
I would personally say I don't feel like I have any type of mentor or any person I personally look up to in any way. Not saying in any way. Of course, I love my parents and I look up to them. They did right by me and all that good stuff. And I look up to their relationship because they've been together for so long. But I know the ups and downs in that as well. So personally, I don't personally look up to anybody. Unfortunately, I think that's kind of sad because I do believe mentorship is super, super, super important. I feel like if you have somebody that is able to take you under their wing to take harness of that, because that is super important. You don't know how far you can get with that. To know that somebody is literally behind you, backing you the whole way. I feel like that's super important. But I personally don't feel like I have a mentor. I feel like I learn my lessons through life, and whatever life gives me, I just take it on the chin and I learn it. And I also learn from experience from others. I'm really, really, really good at listening to others' failures and how they, got through it and all that. So I listen through my friends and stuff like that, but I don't feel like I have any mentors. But life, I would say life is my mentor.
So I was gonna say no, I didn't have one, but then we spoke on that. I do. And it's an older guy that I work with, and he actually put me on to a lot of stuff like investing in stocks and stuff like that. And he always tells me, he looks out for me and stuff. He's just like, when you get older, I want you to pay it forward. So you don't owe me anything. I want to see you succeed. He'll give you his little speech. Oh, I've seen you in 4 years grow so much. And it's just those words and knowing somebody believes in you and then somebody is praying for you that keeps you going. So, yeah, it's important to have a mentor, definitely.
What is your opinion on PWIs, HBCUs?
So, it's funny, I'm gonna start with like this. When I was in high school, I was always saying that I'm going to Virginia State University. Everybody used to look at me like, Virginia State, why Virginia State? Everybody was downplaying the HBCUs at one point in time. And I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people do sleep on HBCUs. And like, now we're in a time that we're in looking at, racial injustice, and it's like, we're uplifting them and we're empowering them. But back when I was in high school, nobody understood it. They wanted to go to PWIs. But what my parents instilled in me, because they went to Virginia State University, was just like that environment. You're only gonna have that quality of everybody that look just like me.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That can really get where I'm coming from, and on a professional level and on a personal level. And we strive together. It's not the same as a PWI. Nothing against them. I have any respect towards any college, but the HBCU is quite different. You're able to really, I feel like when I go out in the real world, I'm Megan. When I'm at an HBCU, I'm Meg. I could really be Meg. Like, I don't have to put on the front, like, hi, my name is Megan Harrison. I'm like, my name is Meg, and this is where I'm at, and I'm comfortable. So that's why I feel like the difference with that. I mean, some people try to say HBCUs cripple you and don't prepare you for the real world, but I feel like HBCU let you be in tune with yourself so you can handle the real world.
Personally, I went to a PWIs all during my grade school years, except for college. So I feel like I learned a lot going to a HBCU. I got to learn about my culture, got to learn about different experiences. There's a lot of things that I didn't learn growing up in white schools. Like, all I learned about was Malcolm X and Rosa Parks, Fresh Duck, stuff like that. When I went to an actual black school, I got to learn in depth of those people and other people, black people that actually did a lot for us. Certain person like Malcolm X, you would think I would have learned that growing up, but I did until I went to an HBCU and I got to learn all about his life and stuff like that. I feel like my teachers were closer with me. They cared about me. They still talk to me to this day. They actually make sure I was doing what I need to do, and they put me up to the test. I just feel like HBCUs is the way to go. I went to Carolina University, and personally, if you have never been around your culture like that, I feel like it's a different experience. It's a wave, and it's a vibe. It's the best experience of your life. You get to meet so many great people, and I know a lot of people try to talk you out of it because they think it's not a lot of jobs in it, or we're not credible or anything like that. But we always have your back. And if you meet somebody that went to an HBCU, we ride very, very hard for people who go to HBCUs. So don't never let that affect you trying to pick. Are you
Going to an HBCU, yes, I went to Hampton University. It was lit. Y'all know how we get down. Like, yes, it was lit. I definitely enjoyed being around people that, you know, look like me, you know, and it was a lot of us. And PWIs, they're cool, you know, but HBCUs is just something about that. It's just being around people like you. It's a sense of loyalty. You know, we all helping each other and trying to get to the top, you know what I'm saying? You struggling in the class, well, I got your back, you know what I'm saying? Everybody looking out for each other. I miss Wednesdays, you know, fried chicken Wednesdays. Yeah, that was a blessing. But yeah, shout out to my HBCU.
I went to a PWI. I went to Old Dominion University, and I would say it's very much like Prince George County. The mixture is kind of the same. Now they have to call them ODU, a multicultural institution, because it came over and took over. But yeah, I would say it kind of felt like high school. It felt like a lot of the white people stuck with the white people. There were black people who stuck with white people, and they just didn't see you. Then you have the black people like myself who kind of fit in everywhere if you'll accept us. And then you had the African culture who only stuck with themselves. But yeah, or unless they were like in computer engineering, something that was super, super, super like, which I would say they smart as heck. And they were already in that arena to be immersed with everyone. But HBCU, I thought about going to one, but in my head, I didn't see it as, like you said, being incredible. Like in my head, I was thinking, all those black folks, it's gotta be an elite school. Like I didn't even think I was smart enough to even get accepted into that school, HBCUs. But I do wish that the same experience that she felt included. She felt like she learned much more about herself and about her culture. I feel as if I was to go back to school, I would love to be a part of an HBCU. I wouldn't change my college experience, but it would have been dope just to hear about it and the look of it, because when you see what goes on there, I think it would have been dope to experience.
All right, so my freshman year, I did rush a Panhellenic sorority, and that is the white fraternity and sorority. I'm not gonna say which one, because after 2 years, I realized I didn't fit in there. It wasn't what it was meant to be. It wasn't what it was cut out to be. It was a lot of fakeness in that culture, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like what it stood for, because I feel like it was a front. And then I had a best friend growing up, and she was pushing me to join the black sorority fraternities, and I just said no. I always fought those instincts of doing that, because I felt like I didn't fit in. So growing up, I was with Taisha. I hung out predominantly white friends, white culture, like just a white world kind of. Even though it was mixed, there was blacks, but the area I grew up in, it was just white. So I fought those instincts. I joined something that I realized wasn't for me, wasn't fitting for me, and I do have regrets. I have regrets. I feel like I missed out on my culture that I probably would have got at HBCU. But like I said, my later years, I did predominantly hang out with a lot of my black friends, and we grew tighter, and I had good experiences with them. So I experienced both in the 4 years. So I would say mine's a little bit different. I feel like I would have gained that culture at a HBCU, but I'm not mad at where I went to school and what type of school that it was.
Well, you know, because I went to the #1 HBCU in the nation. Shout out to A&T, Aggie Fry, okay?
I mean, it's alright, you know what I'm saying?
But y'all was at G-Ho every year.
But the campus,
But y'all was at G-Ho every
I
year.
digress.
that campus is ridiculous. You feel me? I'm thinking I'm about to walk 2 seconds. We walking like to the promised land.
Do not wear heels at homecoming. That campus is too big.
Go.
Okay?
But I love it. You know what I'm saying? The unity is
Y'all
great.
be lit.
UNITY.
I respect y'all. For
But
sure.
goddamn, y'all need a goddamn trolley up in that mug.
I ain't lying.
She didn't want us.
But no, really, going to A&T, well, a HBCU, is the history behind it. Like I said, I went to A&T, where Greensboro 4 started the sit-in movement in Greensboro at a Woolsworth counter, which they turned into a civil rights museum, which was destroyed during the Floyd protests and the Black Lives Matter protests.
Okay.
So it's just a different setting. They don't teach you at a PWI what they teach you at HBCU.
Right.
It goes more in depth into history, our history.
Emphasis on our.
Our history.
And then the literature too, like African American literature that I took. Whew.
Like they said, being around people who are just like you. Where I work at, I work with people from people that went to UNCG, for example. It's always, oh, y'all classes are small, blah, 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 blah. But we taking the same classes and you're failing yours and I'm passing mine. HBCU professors are more inclined to look after you because they're black and you're black. Some of them don't because they get paid either way, whether you pass or fail. But you have some that actually want to see you succeed. They look after you, make sure everything's good. They really care, even on a personal level. You had, just like in high school, we had those teachers we could go to whenever we needed something. It's the same way with your professors.
And then like everybody got like the same struggles at HBCU too,
Yeah.
like financial aid line.
Yes,
Go.
out this word.
Woo, long. Like, but it's like that's what makes it so relatable because it's like y'all school go through that too. Bet. So we not the only ones that's dealing with this stuff. Or like how she was saying, fried chicken Wednesdays. Didn't
Fried chicken
everybody?
Fridays.
Oh, y'all have
Fried
Fridays.
chicken.
But everybody had the same type of thing, and then everybody get the same vibe when we go to homecoming.
It's a family reunion.
The COVID took that from us.
It's
but-
a big ass family reunion.
And everybody like hops two different homecomings. I don't just go to Virginia State homecoming because I love Virginia State to death. Like I'll probably go visit Tiff, and I have done that at Hampton's homecoming, or I would go visit Derry at GHO. Like it's all just like the vibes, and then some. And each school have their own vibe, but it's still the same type of love that you feel as soon as you step on. And then just the architecture there is beautiful. Every HBCU, like it's so antique. It's just grand to me. And it's like you stepping back into time into your history.